So we're going to be uploading this chat app that I built using Node.js and Socket.io library to render.com for free. So we need to first upload or push our project to GitHub so that way we can deploy or host it on render.com. So we create a directory, a repository on GitHub. So I call mine chats underscore app, and then just create a new repository. And then from there, we're going to git init, which I already did. And then we add all the files using the command git add, then dot, and then commit the project. So git commit, and then we enter a message. So in my case, initial commit. And then from there, we enter the command git branch to specify that we're pushing our code to the main branch. And then we enter the next command, the git remote, to link it to the right repository, and then we push it to the repo, and that's all. So our project has been pushed to GitHub successfully, and if I reload the page, you're going to see it there. So the next thing is to go onto render.com. Okay, now this is my dashboard because I already created an account. If you don't already have an account, what you're going to do is click on get started, or if you have an account already, just click on sign in and then dashboard. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is create a new web service and then select the build and deploy from a Git repository option. Okay, and then click on next. So yeah, we have two options here. We can either connect it to our GitHub repo or just copy and paste the particular repo URL here. So with the first option, yeah, you can either connect to all your repos or select a particular repo that you're trying to like deploy. So in my case, it is the chat app. So I decided to just connect it to that repo alone and then click on install. So you're going to be directed back to the dashboard and then click on new web service again and then next. Now you're going to see a list of your connected repos, but in my case, I wasn't seeing it. I didn't know what happened. So I decided to use the second option, which is just to copy and then paste the the repos URL and then click on next to deploy my app. And then yeah, you're going to give your app a name. So in my case, it's going to be the chat app. And then you can leave the region and the branch the way it is. Okay. For the root directory, for me it is the default repository root. But if all your files are in a particular folder, you'll have to specify that here. My runtime is Node, and then my build command, because I'm using npm, is going to be npm install. Okay, and then the start command is just what I mean. That start command is what you're using to start up your application. So in my case, it is Node app.js or just Node app. And then once I'm done, you click on create web service, and then your app should be deployed. But in my case, I was given a big fat error, and that was because in the start command, I was meant to type node index because my entry file is named index.js, not app.js. So that's why I got the error. So just had to make the changes and then save changes and then click on manual deploy and then clear build cache and deploy. Okay, and then your app is going to be deployed again. So our web service is live, and to view it, just click on the link there, and then my web service is working perfectly well, as you can see here. Now if you also make changes to your application in VS Code, Render is going to automatically see the changes and then it's going to redeploy your application. So just as you can see here, when I make changes to my to my app or to my code by removing a particular message. When I push it back to GitHub, when I go back to render.com and go back to the previous page, I will see that it has already started deploying the app again. So, and the app is live again. So if I go back to the web service or the app, if I type in a message, you see that I'm no longer getting that message from user X. I'm only getting what I type into the chat box. So that's how you can deploy your application on render.com.